put the what you call it on here. Look how lazy with
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Big Bougie. I'm trying out a different sound tonight. Hopefully, you hear me over the music. If you don't, ha ha. I'm just
it.
joking. But we're in here tonight. I'm Big Bougie. My man,
Willie
Willie
B.
B. Willie B, what is
Driving
the
to the
topic for tonight, Willie B?
topic is a very beautiful topic. It's a topic where, you know, it deals with your vision.
Vision.
Yes. And it's not necessarily need to use your eyes all the time. But
Okay.
it's perception.
Perception. Give me a good example of vision and perception, sir.
I was gonna ask you that question, but you got to
Yeah.
before I did. So um, you know, when you kind of think of something as for a person, and it's kind of like that phrase where you judge a book by its cover,
Right.
and
Well, how do
that's
you how do you feel that vision and perception gets misconstrued in day-to-day life?
well, it comes with uh, put it like this. You look at a homeless person, right? And you know, visually, you look at them and you think, "Oh man, you know, you look messed up in the game," but because you asking for certain things, it it may just be trying to scam you all the time.
Okay.
When the person could be saying, "Okay, well, look, uh, I like to have some food." Like some people they be like, "I just want some food" or something like that, or they want some help, and it's your choice to help them or not. But off the gate, you like, "Oh man," because some people automatically feel like homeless people have this funny smell, or they're gonna do harm to them, you know, or something violent, or in that case, but not really, not in most cases. Some they lost their mind a little bit, but not all of them. So
Well,
I
and I
wouldn't
can
judge.
I can see how people will perceive that because the media plays that out in movies and sitcoms and jokes. So I can see that. But go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
So when you sit here and be like, nah, this person might do something. It's just like it's just like when a white person judges a black person.
Okay. Or vice
You
versa.
know, vice versa. Like like I could use it say like I've been racially profiled so much where if I look at a cop, I kind of automatically think you about to do some shit. You get what I'm saying? You know, that's but that's because of that perception that I received from the other officer,
Right.
which when it happens consistently, it kind of makes you feel funny towards the next cop that might come up, and the next cop might be cool as hell,
That's true.
or ain't got nothing. They may say, "Hey, yo, man, just want to figure out how you did that," or So the only reason why I could look at that both ways is because when I was younger, I was in the 79 precinct program. They used to help us out. Take us on trips, stuff like that. So you get to see the other side of the spectrum.
So you get to see the police side of the spectrum.
Yeah,
Okay. So having that perspective, did that deter you from doing crime or getting in trouble?
Mm, a little bit. I could say it had a place because when you come to figure out, you understand that they have a family to go home to, or they life they have a life outside of wearing the badge. Um, and plus, you come in to run into different personalities. You know, but you know the the precinct was that precinct was kind of diverse at the time. I don't know what it is now. I don't know, but the program was pretty diverse officers there. We had black, white, Spanish. We had a little everything, and it was a real cool program.
Okay.
Which kind of say, well, if I was, I probably would be a police officer or something like that on that spectrum. Now, probably like actually being in it, it might be a little different. Because they got the code, the wall. So
Wall of
it
silence.
depends, right? So it all depends on who your partner's going to be, and that's the part they don't tell you about in there like that. Who your partner's going to be, or whatever, and you gotta y'all gotta figure that out.
So, with that being said, how does perception and the vision, I guess, do you think within like everybody's everyday life, kids in school, um, you working, just your neighbors, do you think most times people have a false perception of you without getting to know you and know your vision and know why you're walking that path?
Yeah, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, like you got some people that automatically don't like the person. They don't even know them for holding the wall. It could be the coolest person in the world, but something about it is they don't like.
Okay.
Like I would ask you like, what makes you not like them? I just don't like them.
Wouldn't that be considered a prejudice? If you just off the gate don't like somebody and you really don't have no reasoning besides you just don't like them, wouldn't that be considered a prejudice?
Yeah, but then people go by feeling. They go by vibe. They go by energy.
Feelings.
Or you got some people that's like that. So it could be a wolf in sheep clothing. You won't know.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard. So I figured if if you don't like them, you ain't really gonna have nothing to say. Yeah, you ain't gotta mess with them. It is what it is. I'd rather you do that, to be honest, with that than actually fake it and you know be sneaky. I call it sneaky because you're not you're not telling the truth.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
my when you start looking at certain things of perception, you look at like life, right? So you be like, damn, Boots, you got a great life. You look, we'll put it like that. You got the equipment, all this stuff going on. Man, you must be doing your thing. But they don't know that you struggle like
I mean,
everybody else.
everybody struggles. Like, I'm more on the Dame Dash side than the Jay Z side. So, where you might make $2,000 or $3,000, you might end up spending $2,000 or $3,000 just as quick as it comes in. You know what I'm saying? Not saying
I think
because
for
you're
both.
putting everything back into the business to try for one day to flip over and become that Jay Z side. Like I was looking at today, just perception. Dame Dash, people have this perception of Dame Dash. Then I seen Dame Dash has a TV series on Fox Soul.
Oh wow,
Now the perception is he's a failure, but Fox don't really fuck with failures.
failures.
Because once Trump failed, Fox dropped him hotter than a hotcake. Blah! Like they don't
He
really
ain't the only
like
child.
oh boy, but they don't. They're not riding the coattail on um how they were writing it before. That's the best way I can put it. They're not doing how they were doing it before, so it is a difference. So when you get into that, you get a whole perception. You know, the perception is certain people are winners and certain people are losers. The sad thing is they made that perception based off materialistic things. So you see big houses, you see cars, you see expensive clothes and jewelry, you see champagne and wine, and you see women on shopping sprees and buying handbags that cost $5,000, $6,000, and you think that's a success. But success is what makes you happy. And I think a lot of
Mm,
people get lost in that vision behind the perception gave out by media.
okay, I do that.
Great perception. Great perception and respect. Since last week we talked about Dave Chappelle,
Right.
you know, they made us under, but we knew Dave, so we were like, this man ain't smoking crack. But they try to give you the perception that he turned down 50 million. Just think about this. How crazy people who believed that was. A crackhead turns down $50 million.
Why would he do that? He could buy.
And he's a crackhead. If he was a crackhead is not going to turn down $50 million. No way, no how. It's like
No,
super crack party in the hood, Rick James style. If he,
they gonna blow that crack money quick.
but instead he walked away, right? But they try to give you this perception that he was strung out, wasn't in his right mind. I ain't never ever watched a special where they were just overhead crack slums in Africa and they were just smoking crack. So it was like the perception of him smoking crack and running to Africa. Like when you think about it, that's
Well,
not a perception I believe. I can't
well,
believe that. I can't fall into that whole realm of, well, maybe he did, but nah. But that's the perception. You know what I'm saying? And we don't understand that. Just like all the stuff that Kaepernick was doing, right? The
right.
perception is he was against the United States, all that. Neil comes out, his coach was giving off all types of crazy, offensive, racist, and slanderous messages in emails. So did he send
Oh
one to Cap?
yeah.
Did he send one to Cap? And Cap said, I'm not even going to respond. I'm just going to start kneeling on the field till you treat me right. But the perception is what they made us. So everybody's, oh my God, he hates the government. What's the government
Wow.
got to do with taking a knee?
That has nothing to do with it. Even if he wants to do that, the veterans that was there supporting him were doing it. I mean, shoot, like, if you really listen to the words of the Star Spangled Banner, that shit ain't really for us.
They don't
Man,
ever go
you
through the
know what I
second.
mean? Like,
They don't go past the first verse. They can't
no,
go like going past the first verse is like being at your kid's uh, ninth birthday party and you throw on Super Freak. She's
right.
a very kinky girl.
You're gonna be like, what the hell?
Every parent in there is gonna
You
look
know,
around like, what?
how
There's gonna be
dare
one
you?
little girl that's gonna know that song too.
Right. And be like,
And
yo, who? What you listen? How you know the words of the song? My daddy, my mama. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And also like perception is like they think like people think like remember back in the day they used to make Africa like it was so poor. Like when the internet was not that booming yet, and he used to have you watch these commercials on TV. Oh, well, send us some ads. We'll help the young African kids.
For the
Uh,
cost for a cup of coffee, the cost of a cup of coffee, we can feed one child for a whole week.
word.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I know this is wrong, and don't laugh. But I used to watch the commercials, and I go make me a sandwich, man, because I
Oh
didn't
shit.
want to be like those kids. Like, yo, bro, they had flies flying around. Like, imagine you hungry and
Oh,
flies. Like, I go in there and just make me a sandwich. Like, oh, let me make me an egg and cheese sandwich.